Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about my motivation behind becoming financially independent. So let's get started. The reason why I decided to actually become financially independent is because I first didn't like what I was doing at my job. August of 2017 is when I started as an intern for a lot of other mechanical engineers. So I was doing a lot of mechanical engineering work, as well as some computer engineering work. And even then I was like, okay, this isn't too bad, but I don't know if I really like the work. The work is okay as well, but I did know that engineers especially are more likely to have a higher paying job than any other degree. So I just stuck with it, and I continued to go to school and intern, and then by the time summer 2018 rolled around is when everything changed. It was like the first week that I had worked full-time 40 hours a week. Up until then, I had worked a little bit during one summer, but that was again only part-time, probably 20 hours a week, and it was one of those desk associates. And it was nowhere near the type of intensity or the type of work that I'm doing right now. So I had to go to work for 40 hours, and that's what I did during my summer because I didn't have any schoolwork to do. So in the meantime, I worked full-time as an intern. And yes, I was getting paid very well. I think it was about 25 an hour, maybe 26. But after the first week, I hated it. I really disliked getting up at the crack of dawn just to go to work. And I lived about 45 minutes away from the place where I work, and I know that that's not far for some of you who kind of commute 2 hours or an hour and a half one way, but for me it was 45 minutes, and that was brutal. So over an hour of driving every day, and I couldn't stand it. I not only had to get there by 8 o'clock or 8:30, but I had to have my hair done, have my makeup done, dressed and showered, all of that stuff, and also meal prepping so that I don't have to spend money on lunch. That all was just a lot of overhead and a lot of work that I hated. I could not stand having to spend my free time during the weekend or in the afternoon getting ready for the next day. That's just more time spent on my internship. I spent so much time getting ready, prepping, looking okay, and getting mentally prepared, and that was all towards that internship. And that was an internship. Interns, they don't expect a lot of work from you or expect you to actually be on time. I mean, most of the time I was able to come in at about 9 o'clock, but even then, I just couldn't stand it. And also, like I said, getting up at the crack of dawn, my routine was to get up and to work out first thing in the morning and then do whatever I need to do. But I had to get up at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes so that I could be to work at 9 o'clock. I was very stressed out about going to work, and I couldn't stand the idea of that expectation that was there from the workplace. So when you go into work, this may just be me, but it feels like there's this sort of expectation to not only act a certain way, but to also, be polite, be friendly, and do your work and do it well, and make sure you actually have results. It doesn't matter if you're doing a lot of work. What matters is that you have results for the work that you're doing. And it's just like that level of expectation, it really gets to you. And that's the one thing I can't stand. I think that ultimately beats out any sort of like waking up early or prepping for the next day or anything. It's just that constant stress on you on having to perform and do better and be better, and having to meet this other person's expectations, your manager, you having to meet those expectations. It was just very overwhelming. And I know I've been at school for my whole life, and it was nothing compared to that. And I was just really confused because I thought I knew my stuff or I knew what I needed to do, but I didn't realize that this is a completely different field. Work, nothing like going to school and trying to get a good grade and trying to do well on tests. It's nothing like that. And it was just kind of a wake-up call, so to speak, but it was also a gut-wrenching wake-up call. It wasn't fun. I realized that I had a really nice day-to-day life. Even when going to school, I still had time to kind of relax during the day, or I didn't have class until 11 o'clock or something like that, and it was only an hour or an hour and a half. And it wasn't that bad, and I didn't realize it. And that's the thing that kind of bugs me, because if I had probably taken a full-time job earlier, I would have started this financial journey sooner. I didn't know about financial independence at the time, and I just felt a big sense of dread in my stomach, just at the pit of my stomach. I did not want to go. I just did not want to wake up the next morning, because it was just dread. I just felt dread. Like, is this going to be the next 40 years of my life, going and driving 45 minutes and going into a little cubicle and being isolated for 8 hours looking at a computer, and then going home and just getting ready for the next day, going to sleep and doing the exact same thing, waking up at 5 o'clock to go work out? That's not what I like, and that's not living at all. And so that's what I realized. I'm like, this isn't life. Like, this can't be my life. I'm not going to live in a box for 40 years. And so that's what made me snap out. And I looked online, and I looked at other things, like on ways where you could save money. And that's when I found out about the financial independence movement. And from there, I realized, if I invest a lot of money, or a certain amount of money, I could probably actually quit this job, in about 10 years. But I can do it. I don't have to be here for 40 years. And so that just kind of brought on this motivation and fire. So FIRE, financial independence. Okay, so it just made me light up, and I knew that I needed to do this. So what I started to do is I started to invest. I started to research. I started to learn more about stocks, investing, saving, anything I could get my hands on that would help me get that much further in my goal of becoming financially independent as soon as possible. And so after all of that, that's when I determined that, okay, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can actually become financially independent by the time I'm 30. It is a possibility. So that's what I've been doing since then. And it has been a wonderful experience. I've never been more motivated to actually go to work or do work, because I know that if I work, I'll get more money that I could then invest. It's also driven me to do other things and pursue other passions that I'm interested in, because I realized that I don't have a lot of time on this planet. You only have one life, and I don't want to spend it sitting in a cubicle. And if I'm not sitting in a cubicle, what would I be doing? Well, that's basically what I'm doing now. I would love to, create videos or do what I like to do, and that I can just live my life day to day and not be stressed out. But I thought I would kind of share with you guys my motivation behind saving more and investing more money and becoming that much closer to becoming financially independent. So please like, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Bye.